Good day, everyone. You are welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we are moving to other types of prepositions, aside preposition of place, preposition of time. We can use preposition to express origin, ownership, and absence, and this lesson is going to deal with that. Let's take a look at the first one, by. By has several common uses in the English language, and when used to talk about an action, it refers to something that is done in order to achieve a certain result. For example, I fixed my television by hitting it. That is, this is the action of hitting it results to the fixing of your television. That is, that was how you fixed your television. Also, we use by to talk about who wrote something or made something. I'm reading 1984 by George Orwell. That is written by George Orwell. Written by George Orwell. I am eating a cake. I am eating the cake made by my sister. Made by my sister. You can see that. It is also used to talk about methods of travel. Method of travel. That's how you can see by is a single preposition, but you can use it for different means. I always go to work by train. I always go to work by train. I go to school by school bus. You can see that. I go on foot is an exception to this rule. I go to work on foot. You don't say by foot. It can also be used to form the passive voice. Yes, this one is very important. The passive voice is you bringing the subject to the position of the object and the object to the position of the subject. For example, this was painted by a famous artist. Now, the active voice of this sentence would be a famous artist painted this. You can see a famous artist painted this, but you now want to turn it to passive to be this was painted. So in order to now introduce the subject, now you need that by, so we use by to form passive voice. Let's take a look at further examples. I broke my phone by dropping it in a puddle. Action that results into what? Result, right? Into that leads to result. The result is what? You drop your phone in a puddle. The action is the fact what? Sorry, the action is dropping your phone in a puddle. So what does that now lead to? The phone what? Broke. This show is based on a short story by Jane Austen, that is written by Jane Austen. It's too far to walk into town. It's more easier to go by bus, means of transportation. That new building was designed by a famous architect. By a famous architect. If you have watched this lesson up till this point, I would want you to give me one example each of how we can use by. By for passive, by to talk about travel, by to say who wrote or made something, and by to say to talk about action that is done to achieve a certain result. Please drop those 4 sentences in the comment section and I'm going to review it for you. Remember, you are taking part in this course for you to learn how to write simple and correct sentences, and you have to practice in order for you to learn. Let's move to the next one, which is with and without. Let's talk about preposition with and without. With has several common uses in the English language as well. It can mean accompanied by, that is somebody followed you. I went to a restaurant with my wife, that is accompanied by my wife. That is your wife followed you to the restaurant. It is used to also talk about possession. Yes. I want a job with a good salary. That is a job that comes with a good salary, possession. It is also used to talk about a thing, yeah, instrument that you use to perform an action. I cut this apple with a knife. That's the instrument that you use. Without is used to talk about the absence of something. Without it. Vera came to the party without a gift. That is, Vera came to the party by not bringing a gift. Let's take a look at further examples. I need to move somewhere with better phone reception. with better phone reception. Christina paid for the dress with what's the instrument? The thing that used to perform with her credit card. I need to hire someone with that's possession, right? With excellent computer skills. Wait, don't leave without me. Don't leave without me. Also, at this stage, I would want you to give 4 examples. 3 examples of the 3 ways that we can use with, and 1 example showing the use of what without. Drop it in the comment section. I will review it for you. Let's talk about. Let's talk about, right? Yes. About is mainly used to mean on the subject of. I am watching a documentary about ancient Greece. That is that documentary. The subject matter of that documentary is ancient Greece. I am going to call the bank about their bad service. What's the subject of intent? What do you want to call the bank for? Their bad service. I am sorry, but I have no idea what you are talking about. I think at this stage I need to talk about and discuss, because many people use about the wrong way. They say let's discuss about the matter. No, it is wrong to say let's discuss about the matter. You say let's discuss the matter, or let's talk about the matter. So discuss is correct, discuss about is wrong, talk about is correct. All right. And even saying talk only is wrong. You can't say let's talk the matter. No, no, no. The next one we are talking about is dependent prepositions. Dependent preposition. Some words must be followed by a specific preposition called a dependent preposition. These words can be adjectives, verbs, or nouns. So it's important. They must have what? A specific preposition for them to make sense. Some adjectives are followed by the same preposition when used in a word in a sentence. Let's take a look at example. It was good of my friend to offer to babysit last night. So good of you. Some adjectives can take one of a choice of preposition in the same sentence without changing their meaning. For example, you seem surprised at their behavior. You seem surprised by their behavior. So at least you can have surprised at, surprised by. It is still the same meaning. Further example, the baby sister was angry about looking after her naughty sister. My parents are annoyed with me for not cleaning my room. The children are impressed by practical jokes. Jenny is tired of watching shows on TV. That is tired of. My friends are getting ready for their new baby. She's excited about going hiking in the mountains. So verbs with those ones, the one we did now is adjective with dependent prepositions. So now I have verbs with dependent prepositions as well. For example, the head chef used to shout at the staff to encourage them to work harder. Further examples, the cafe was counting on the new menu to impress its customers. The cafe advertised for another chef to join the team. The head chef spoke to the manager about hiring kitchen staff. What do you think about leaving early on Fridays? Let's talk about verbs with 2 or 4. Some verbs can either take 2 or 4 depending on the context. 2 is used when there is a transfer of something, whereas 4 is used when someone benefits from something. Let's take a look. He sold the house to the family. That is, the family bought the house. There's transfer of the ownership of the house from he to the family. He sold the house for the family. That is, he sold the house on behalf of the family. You can see now, English is kind of interesting. He sold the house to the family is different from he sold the house for the family. Nouns with dependent what? Preposition. We've talked about adjectives, we talked about verbs. Let's talk about nouns. Some nouns are usually followed by the same preposition when used. For example, I always keep a photograph of my family on my desk. Some nouns can take one of a choice of prepositions in the same sentences without changing their meaning. Let's take a look at advantage. There are advantages in moving away to study. There are advantages to moving away to study. You can use any of the two and it will still make sense. It is important to have positive attitude toward studying, not towards, take note, toward studying. I have been hard, I have been working hard to find a solution to this problem. The cause of traffic jams is often bad town planning. There has been a steady increase in students passing their exam. The demand for public buses increases every year. Take your time planning a response to the essay questions. What with different dependent prepositions? Some adjectives, verbs, nouns can be followed by a choice of preposition. The meaning of the phrase is dependent on which preposition the adjective or verb or noun is paired with. Let's take a look. I am anxious. I am anxious for my vacation to start. That is, I'm excited for my vacation. I am anxious about being late for what? For my flight. That means I am worried I'm going to miss my flight. You can see. He talked to the teacher. That is, he had a conversation with the teacher. He talked about the teacher. That one is different. That means he had a conversation with someone else discussing the teacher. So this is the teacher, right? Using tie, carrying, whatever. So he talked to the teacher. Now this is the teacher going. So this person talked to this another person about the teacher. I have a good relationship with my parents. That means the relationship between my parents and I is good. The relationship between family members is important. What that means is it is important that family members have a good relationship. Further examples. I'm upset about how badly my exams went. The charity needs to appeal for more volunteers. Pests are a serious problem for farmers. I'm upset with myself for failing my exams. The campaigns appeal to students. Farmers have a serious problems with pests. So you can see that. Upset about, upset with myself. So it's you now. Upset about you being angry at the exam. Charity needs to appeal for more volunteers. Appeal to, so you can see that. Okay, so we have finally come to the end of the lesson on other types of preposition. Don't forget to drop your examples to learn, to see whether you are learning or not. And don't forget to like this lesson, share the video with someone that will be interested, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you and see you in the next lesson.